Looks like we're live. All right, so welcome to another podcast. All right, in today's podcast, we're talking all about keyword research for SEO and site structure for SEO, because really understanding how both of these work together is it's probably going to save you a lot of stress when it comes to figuring out what keywords to target in the first place. Because look, there's no magic keywords anymore. And there's so many keyword tools out there that will give you just all this data on keyword difficulty, search volume, and all this other stuff, and all these different metrics that will just fill your head up and generally confuse the crap out of you, and you'll end up just not knowing where to start, sort of thing. So we try and really simplify it. And so what I mean by there's no magic keywords anymore is the fact that there's no high volume keyword that's not already out there being used. The internet's been around that long now that there's so much content out on the internet. I mean, there's a million blogs a day being created across the web. So literally it's all been covered. And so all of the keywords that you're hoping to use are being used. So it's not a case of worrying about sort of competition or trying to find those sort of low competitive, high volume sort of keywords that are targeted to sort of sales, because they don't exist. So the best thing to do with keywords is to kind of take a bit of a, not a scattergun approach, but maybe just a more broader approach to it, and not stress so much about the individual keywords. So we still do keyword research, but we don't stress over it to the point where our whole sort of article is created around a sort of particular keyword. We prefer to work within keyword topics. So we find relevant sort of niche topics, and what I'm going to talk about today is the content cluster, or the pillar page content cluster sort of model. I think we used to call it hub and spoke. I'm pretty sure people still call it that. Or you've probably heard of silos, using sort of keyword silos, and this is a little bit different to a silo, but it's the same concept in broad strokes, sort of thing. Ideally, what it is all about is just finding what keyword groups go together, and then making sure that your content that's all related to certain keywords are sort of all interlinked and working in the same sort of bucket, so you're not confusing in the eyes of Google what you're talking about and what topic you're sort of writing about, and more importantly, you're not sort of trying to outrank each other with the same sort of keyword on multiple pages. And so the reason that site structure is important when it comes to keyword research, and this is probably where keyword research is important, is just understanding which words you're targeting on what page of your website. Because again, to avoid keyword cannibalization, where you're trying to compete for the same keyword on multiple pages, it's just important to have a bit of a plan on how you structure out your website in the first place. And so what we're going to talk about in this video is how to structure your website using that pillar page and content cluster strategy that I spoke about, and then just how to understand sort of how your keywords work together within that. Now, before I jump into the silo and the content cluster, actually I will jump into that first. Let me show you the sort of structure that you're looking for on a website, and then it'll probably help you understand when you're looking for keyword research what you're looking for. Okay, so what a lot of people do is they build websites and they have multiple pages, and all those pages have all the same keywords because they talk about the same topic on every single page, and it just makes it impossible for Google to rank. So what you're looking to do is to break your website up into these clusters. And so let's say if you've got your homepage, so I'll draw this quickly. This is obviously really good viewing, watching my back as I draw this. Okay. Now, okay, so you've got your home page, and then you've got your topic clusters here. Okay. Now, these pages here are probably your cornerstone pages within your website. So if you're in, say, the construction space, which is what we work in, then these might be sort of clusters for residential construction. So let's say you're a plumber, residential plumbing. This cluster might be commercial plumbing, where you're talking about commercial jobs. This might be plumbing inspections, and sort of more of the sort of red tape side of plumbing. This one could be something like emergency after hours plumbing. Okay, and the home page is obviously acts as your directory, which sort of funnels everybody out to these pages. Now, When you're working out your keywords, generally what you do is your homepage is your target keyword. So if you're a plumber, your homepage is generally going to be plumber, your location, plumbing, your location sort of thing, for a local business anyway. Your homepage will be your strongest sort of keywords, because with SEO, as we've said in previous videos, you kind of build from the bottom up. So as you go out into these pages, you get more granular, and your keywords get sort of longer. So they become long tail keywords. And with that, they then inherently become a little bit easier to rank. And so as you rank the sort of easier pages, they sort of push through to the homepage. And so again, like I say, often with SEO, you're often ranking from the bottom up. Okay, so back to the content structure. So you've got your homepage and you've got your clusters. Now, these pages here are generally, you want to try and make these 2,000 words, 3,000 words without going ridiculous, but they're also really well designed sales pages, because these are your money pages. These are pages that you want people to actually convert and call you and opt in and these sort of things. Then off of each of these topics, okay, so you got your core topic, you then go and find other sub sort of niches or subtopics that are related to that particular topic. So if you're in the sort of commercial space, you want to go and do research on keywords around commercial plumbing, commercial sort of construction, and find all topics, and I'll show you. Okay, so you want to then go and create all these posts targeting individual keywords for each one of these. Now, if this one's sort of 2,000 to 3,000 words, these are blog posts generally, or they could be internal pages depending on how you actually want to structure your layout. And these effectively all link back into this topic. Now, what happens is, again, these are your really hard keywords that everybody's trying to rank for in your space. These ones here are a little bit longer tail, but they're generally still highly competitive keywords and high traffic keywords. So you can rank for those a bit easier, but they'll take a little bit of time to rank. Now, these ones here are generally targeting keywords that might only have 50 searches a month, 20 searches a month, and they might be long tail phrases like the best local plumber in your area, or how to do this in plumbing sort of thing. And what you'll find is a lot of these pages you can actually rank for within a week or 2 weeks, or sort of within a month max, because there's not a lot of search volume, which means there's not a lot of competition. So if you craft your content well enough here, and so the tip with these ones is you just want to Google that phrase, and generally you'll see there's a blog or article that's already ranking #1, and let's say that blog's 500 words and they've got one image, then you want to go and create a 1,000-page word. You want to put 2 or 3 different images in there, maybe some resources and other bits and pieces like audio or a video. And so basically just create a content piece that's more relevant and better than the one that's currently ranking. And that should generally be enough for Google to then put you above the one that's currently there, because you're not really getting into backlinks and these all sort of off-page factors when you're only targeting lower search volume keywords. And if you did have to drive a backlink, you'd probably look at driving 1 or 2 backlinks and you'll get there to #1. But what happens is when you rank all of these #1, they pass on sort of link juice up into this topical page here. So if you can see, they're getting a little bit of juice from all of these, which means that the value of this page in Google's eyes goes up, which helps that then go up in the rankings. As that moves up and these all move up, obviously because you're doing the same, then that'll move the homepage up as well. And so this is why you want to structure your website like this. And so to give you an idea, I'll just finish this off. Okay, so what we generally do is create a hub and spoke sort of model here, where this links together. These all link into this main page, and they also link through a loop into these pages here. And you can cross-link any of these, but basically because they're all about that same topic, what you're trying to do is just interlink to any blog within that phrase, in this content cluster, when it's relevant within each individual blog. And then if you could imagine you have this blog over here, it'd be the same situation here, and then you could almost link the 2 wheels as well. So you can actually join the whole site together. It doesn't have to run exclusively as sort of an independent silo. On bigger sites, sometimes you will run them independently. On most small sites and most local businesses, you probably just want to link all your website at some point through each other and not get too caught up in, I guess, closing off your link loops, because ultimately you don't have that much, I guess, digital infrastructure to play around with, and you want to kind of maximize what you've got there. So if that's how you're going to structure your website, then what you need to do is basically sit down with, look, I love just drawing everything. I use pads for everything to do, all my planning. I know there's software, and I know there's look, software drives me nuts. Like I've got more subscriptions to bloody software that I don't use than most people see in a lifetime. Like there's always a tool online that'll help make this easy, but the truth is nothing is easier than just picking up a pen, getting in front of a pad. It'll help clear your brain as well, because if you're new to digital marketing, what you find is that if you're trying to do everything online, it's just very acidic, and you just get very stressed out. Whereas if you get a pad and paper, you just draw something simple like this, you draw a loop and you go, okay, this is my home page. And then you just write the 2 to 3 keywords, maybe 5 keywords you want to target there. And then you do the same out here. Okay, this is the topic cluster number 1. The topic is this. These are the keywords I want to target there. And then same as with this is what the subtopic is going to be, subtopic. And then you put your 2 to 3 keywords in there as well. So that way, when you jump into a platform, and we love using KW Finder and Hrefs are kind of our go-to for keyword research. KW Finder, there is a free version of that, but I think you can only do 1 or 2 searches a day. But it's only like $50 a month if you want to upgrade enough searches for a small business. But it's just a great platform. And what I'll do is I'll actually do a walkthrough video of these tools after this podcast. And so if you haven't had a look yet, jump over to yourmarketingcrew.com.au and check out our marketing hub. So it's just /marketing-hub. No, not sorry, HQ, not hub. It's a marketing HQ, where we're creating live walkthrough videos for everything that we're talking about on the podcast. So if you sort of like the sound of this and want to know how the nuts and bolts work, then just check that out over there. I'll put that video up at some point today or in the next day or so. But what we do is you then do your keyword research. And again, going back to the video yesterday, you're generally looking for your target keyword, and then you're trying to build it out with some LSI keywords or semantic keywords, and just related keywords to that topic in the eyes of Google, to make sure that your keyword groupings are nice and tight and nicely related to each other. And the reason that you do this as well is so once you've put all your keywords in, you then want to go through and just cross-check that you're not trying to rank for the same keyword in multiple pages. And if you are, then just simply remove it off the blogs that you don't want to rank as priority and try and change it for another keyword. And so it's never going to be perfect, because when you're talking about a topic, there's always going to be crossover. But by going through this process, you're going to limit the amount of keyword cannibalization that you actually that you run into. And what that'll mean is then Google will be easily able to rank each page clearly for what the topic is. Now, some people argue that keyword cannibalization is not a real thing, that Google's smart enough to figure it out. I'll tell you now, with all of our clients and all of our SEO, we find that it does help. At the end of the day, even if Google is clever enough to figure it out, and their machine learning and AI is this super beast, which I still hold a few reservations about, by cleaning it up, it'll just help them get there quicker. So it's definitely worth doing. And also for yourself, it just helps clarify what you're going to write about. And it sort of helps you eliminate topics that maybe are crossing over into another sort of sub niche, so you can generally combine those topics. So it just helps you understand what you're trying to achieve for your website. The other thing that I'll do, so we use KW Finder for our search terms. There's a great tab there where you can sort of hit questions, and it'll give you sort of relevant questions. Questions are a great way to fill out your content. Simply find the questions that people are asking about a topic and answer them. Answer the Public also does this. The paid version, though, you've got to pay for it in order to get local specific questions, but it can still help. And the other tool we use is Ahrefs or Hrefs. Now, the reason that's important is that's a more expensive tool. They do a 14-day trial, so you might want to jump on and try that. But they've got the ability where you can put in the domain, and what it does, it'll tell you all the keywords that actual domain for a competitor is ranking for. So this is a cool way just to understand what Google's already ranking that search term for. So like if you put in a search term here, plumber Brisbane, and then you go and find out, go look at the sites who are ranking 1, 2, and 3, put them into a tool like Ahrefs and look at all the organic words that page is ranking for. It can then help you to just shortcut that process of finding out what Google thinks this page is about, but more importantly, what search terms Google's saying that searchers are saying are relevant to this page. And so sometimes it's easy just to go through and firstly find out what's working, and then try and add in there if you can find other keywords that are relevant. But the last thing we try and do is just create it all from our own head and just go with what we think works, because at the end of the day, there's enough data out there. All these tools, Google, they're telling us what works. The number one thing for SEO, for any marketing, is just go and look at what Google's telling you works. Whatever's ranking number one, number two, number three, they're working. So you just need to go and replicate those and then create better versions of that. And yeah, the old rule of thumb, remember to always create your content based around the user experience and actually helping the user, because whilst Google cares about sort of structure and H1 tags and, alt tags and all of these things, they ultimately care about the user experience. And so if you're creating a web page or a blog post that's actually helping people, that's not just full of rubbish content that you've gone and created on Fiverr for $5 just to fill out the word count, that you've actually put a bit of thought into, you've created nice images, then people will interact with that. They'll find it useful, they'll share it, and more importantly, if they find that useful, they'll generally click from that page onto another page in your website. And so you'll actually get more traffic, you get more time on site, all the great metrics that Google loves when it's looking at sort of whether or not it's going to rank you above a competitor. So that's how to do sort of SEO keyword research. As I said, check it out on the Marketing HQ page on our website. I'll do a walkthrough video just showing you how to use KW Finder and Ahrefs, and I'll give you links over there to those platforms as well. So thanks for watching the podcast today, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.